mate literally took the all the gear that we had, took the leaders off and literally just put one hook on each line without anything, just knotted it really well and put a live piece of a live fish on the hook. And he said, this is what we're using. No weights, no anything. And we threw that out and we put, I want to say that we put probably close to 40 fish in the boat in about an hour. It was amazing. Everybody was just howling. It was so fun. But guess what else was out there? Crap loads of other boats with crap loads of lines out in the water. Yep. And none of them were hitting any of this fish. And it really resonated with me in your conversation last night with Steven Perchikov. It was a recording. It was a recording of something you did with him in December, which is just a fantastic conversation. And I was like, my God, these people were at the right place fishing for the exact same thing that we were fishing for. They had way more lines in the water than we did. We only had 4 guys in the boat. And they weren't hitting anything. And these guys were going across the same lines we were. They're like, what are you doing? What are you using? I mean, screaming and yelling. We were too busy catching fish. Mm-hmm. It took longer to clean and dress the fish by the time, the hours. We caught it all in an hour, and it took 4 hours for them to clean and dress all the fish that we had. But it was epic. But it was, again, the right place, with the right bait or / message, right? In the right method, which gets so missed that, hey, we could have, if somebody wants to drag a big old net across there, they're going to catch a bunch of fish, but that albacore is going to swim out and recognize it and get away. Yep. You're going to catch everything but that. And so when people are talking to you, about business and you're asking them, what are you looking for in your business right now? I just need more traffic and leads. It's like, what kind of traffic and leads? What method are you using? And when you do that best process with our network members, it's not about here's the process I want you to use because this is the one I'm familiar with, which so many experts do. Mm-hmm. You're like, what are you trying to catch? Yep. Who are you trying to attract? What solution, what solution do you provide? What problem do you solve? And who are those people that have that problem? Where are they? How do you attract them? You go through those questions. We just did that last week about questions or last episode or whatever, but,
it'll be a week after this one drops.
Okay. So that's where that metaphor is, right? That using the right, going in the right place. You're fishing, you know who your target is. Where are they? What message or bait are you using to attract them? And what method are you using to catch them? And that, if you're looking to get a client that's, quote unquote, I hate the term high ticket, but I guess we'll just use it for revenue.
Let's say high quality, high value.
High quality, high value that pay big money. You're right. But high quality, high value client, they're not going to be caught like you catch a $7 lead, a $7 offer. And by the way, they absolutely know if they know that they're being grouped together like that, a lot bet, no matter how hard you try to hide that, they know.
Yeah, let me give some another angle or what that might mean for the people I know are listening, because you mentioned Steven Perchikov, who started this whole the conversation with him.
Right.
What Steven does is he goes on LinkedIn. Now there's people that have bots. They make 500 connections a freaking week on LinkedIn and they can't make a sale.
Right.
He goes in hyper targeted, finds out about this person, offers to solve their one problem in a conversation. Which is why, again, I see everybody doing that thing where they have 100 lines on the water
Yep.
And then you have like you guys or like Steven or what we do is bias a personal conversation over blasting content or lead magnets or whatever.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So
Yep.
the key to catching big fish, we're talking about big fish clients, right? Which is a lot of people really want to work with really high quality people. And I could tell you over the last, 2 months, the quality, when we release the names of the people that we've signed on and worked with,
Yep.
I think people are going to lose their minds and figure, how'd you do it? How'd you do it? How'd you do it? And I'm going to tell you right now, this is the actionable, like, what does this all mean? Because it makes sense. And it's brilliant the way you explain that. We do this because, Jeff, you and I both bias conversation
Yep.
over anything else. Whereas, so as a marketer, as a business owner, I would implore you to think about, do you really need 1,000 lines in the water? Maybe eventually, when you have $7 products, membership sites or whatever, but especially if you're high ticket, you want to have really high quality clients.
Yep.
I would bias conversation over just blasting content any day. And so that's what comes to mind when I think of how do we build the network? Everybody's like blown away by how fast the network. It was individual pointed conversations. And then all we did was teach them how to do the same. Right.
Exactly. And I think that, what's important is we've made it where we're accessible. It's not like, oh, you want to talk to us, you need to go through this. I mean, yeah, we'll set Calendly, messed up, but they have access to us as far as, hey, I have a question or I've got this. And we've made it very, very much their thing. It's about them. And if somebody feels like they're part of a funnel, that's why I just can't stand the term. If they feel like they're just part of a funnel, that's you're not going to get the highest quality client ever. Brian Kurtz from Titans of Direct Response, my favorite thing. Well, one of the favorite things he said, because I just love that guy. He's like, you go and ask somebody that's in, online marketing or internet, in consulting or advising or whatever online, and said, when's the last time you've had dinner with your top 5, with one of your top 5 clients? And in this world of online marketing, everybody looks at him like, what? Like, when have you ever had a dinner? Now he's got the boardroom dinners, which are extraordinary, but it's such a great question, is how well do you really know the people that are working with you? And if you're not, taking it specific and unique action, and engaging them that way, they're going to find somebody ultimately that will.
Yeah. Well, I think of the, what was it? The albacore, right? Like,
yeah,
they're smart enough to know, like, oh, that's a net. I'm out of here.
That's a net. Hey, that looks like a weight. Yeah. I'm not even, I couldn't believe it. I've never been fishing where the guy removes everything and just toss some badass knot around the hook and puts a fish on there and says, go. We're like, this is never, shit, that bait isn't in the water for longer than 10 seconds before something hits it.
Yep.
And that's albacore smart. As much, tuna, like as smart as I guess as they can be, but that is it. Like, if you were to look at the old fashioned albacore boats, the long line albacore boats, or not long line, but just pole and line, it literally, you go, what the hell are they doing? It's bamboo with a line on it that's got some shiny ass thing that this albacore's hitting, and they're just going like, boom, boom, out, up. And it's like, Jesus, these guys know exactly the bait and the method to use to be able to get the highest quality fish. Yep. And those guys that are out there hunting for bluefin tuna right now, those guys that go hunt, big game hunting, and where they go, a friend of mine, he's a member of the boardroom, but he's a friend of mine. He just shot like one of the largest elk ever killed. It was like 1,100 pounds.
That's a big elk.
And he did it from over 1,000 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it just, everything was just great. But they were on this trek for, I mean, in order to be able to go out and even have that opportunity, it could take 10 years. And so if you go out there and you don't have the right equipment, you don't have the right guidance, you don't have the right understanding of what's going on, you know, you will never get that. And so I think that hunting and fishing are definitely great metaphors for this. But more importantly, you know, from a human standpoint, how are we truly connecting with these people that we serve, that we are eager, not just willing, but eager to serve? And there's so much, you know, when you and I talk about, you know, we become them in a lot of cases. And you can't do that by cookie cutter, you know, management of this thing. We don't expect them to assimilate to our way of being. We actually meet them where they are and then help them elevate. There's only one way to do that, and that's to meet them where they are first.
Yeah, and that's the up to like 2 weeks ago, and I'm not even building it. Somebody else is building it for us. We didn't have a quote unquote paid traffic funnel. And we've had how many big name, high quality people have come in, like world renowned coaches and experts have come in and then came to us and said, how did you put together this group of people? I mean, Jeff Spencer, like people just come in and like, you got a special group.
Yep.
And I can tell you that not a single one of them came from a paid traffic funnel.
No.
Right? They came from these quote unquote low tech acquisition methods, but it just right in line with the lower the tech, the higher the quality.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, if again, the vault is like $47 a month, right?
Right.
And we'll probably catch a bunch of those if we did cast the net, which, you know, maybe we'll do, maybe we won't. But I think it's really important for those people again that are sitting around saying, man, how do you get clients like that? How do you land clients like this person and that person and these big names? And until you said it last night, it just didn't even register. It's such a low tech. Just talk to people.
Yeah.
Like that's what we do. And that's what
fancy that.
Yeah. And that's what I made a note here, bias conversation over content. And so many people are just starting and they're trying to start high ticket, you know, big ticket, and they're completely skipping the conversation.
It's in, you know, and also, I mean, there's something very important to miss here that, you know, it's definitely low. It's low tech as far as the conversations go, and they're unique. These conversations are unique amongst themselves, but it's not haphazard the way we serve. You know, somebody comes in and there's you know, there's a pattern, there's a path that we help them go through, you know, just so we can do it. And it's funny because people like they see in the vault, they go, oh my God, that, you know, when we did the thing with Jacob with the compelling introduction, that's not called the compelling introduction session. It's called value discovery. And if we're not having a conversation, I can't think of a better word than discovery, you know, in something like that. VALYOU, your unique value, VALYOU, and how we help you discover it and then help you share that so other people can see it and other people can share it as well. And, you know, that discovery. And then when we start talking about positioning, because now we're within our superpower and we move to this thing called deep impact, and helps our clients recognize and our members recognize the impact that they're making all the way through their engagement process with their clients. And in between this and after this and all around it is they end up working with you on best process, and people go, okay, tell me what my best process is, you know, tell me what to do. And it's like, well, I don't know, you know, and you take them through this masterful Socratic method with them. And it's almost the answer is in the question.
Yep.
for them.
Going back to
And
last week again, right?
Right. So organic. It's so organic. And it sounds like we're sitting here bragging on each other, but we're just using this as a couple of guys that met 11 months ago on the phone, and now we have something pretty extraordinary and unique, and something that people are asking us all the time, what the hell are you guys doing? How are you doing it? And we're like, we haven't stopped to try and figure that out. We're too busy just serving the people that we're with and loving every step of it.
Yeah, and that's right. Again, it's been 11 months. I think the network's been a thing for 9.
Yeah.
And I just want to give perspective to the people listening, because that's the whole point, right? Is like,
yeah,
what does this mean for me? And I'm telling you right now, we went out there with, again, we went one line in the water,
yep, and
fortunately, our fish are humans and they can talk.
Yeah.
We said, what do you need? Right.
Yep.
Like, we didn't go out there with, this is our bait. It's like, what do you need? And can we provide it? And we went from 0 to 100 grand a month in like 6 or 7 months.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's not to brag. It's just to say, before you put 42 lines in the water and have 75 automation set up and an empty calendar, you're not talking to anybody because you're trying to get all your tech through.
Talk to everybody.
Yeah, you're trying to talk to everybody with tech. You're talking to nobody one-on-one. You're probably making a huge mistake. And that's just that conversation last night when you brought it up, it just became so apparent to me that, like, that's what people are doing. They're floating around they're trying to put 57 lines in the water.
Yep.
And they don't even know, honestly, most of them don't have clarity on what they're trying to catch.
Right.
And they complain about what ends up in the boat.
Well, in value discovery calls, when I say, be singular as far as, my name is blank with blank company, and we help blank type of people. And I say singular, and I get this coaches, advisors, consultants. And I go, okay, great. And service providers, which is probably a little bit closer to what we're talking about. And I go, so what do all those, these are the people I serve. And I'm like, okay, what do they have in common? What is the common thread amongst these that allows you to have a conversation that is still uniquely impactful, but, also, serving all 4 of these types of people. And so we get into that because people don't want to get away. By the way, I'm going to use another metaphor here, and excuse me, but when we mine for gold, when guys are out there mining for gold right now, they're not going for gold. The way they do that now is they start to, the hydraulic mining is getting rid of everything that's not gold.
Mm-hmm.
And identifying, let's get rid of this. And so when we're trying to identify who that target client is, the one that you feel so connected with that you can serve effortlessly, and just when they ache, you ache, and you're able to help them and be with them and actually be them and know where they're going, and you've been there before, and you know the way, and you know what they're saying to themselves, and all of that great stuff. But before you get to that person, there's a lot of other people that you're trying to attract if you're in this really tech methoded, collection method that needs to just whittle away. And so it's very helpful to say, what am I looking for? And, if it comes down to 3 or 4 things, what is that common thread? But find that common thread by also understanding there's inherent differences in them. And so if you're actually talking to the things that are different amongst those 4 people, you end up alienating 3 sets of those people. Yeah. And so it's like, let's get rid of once we get right down to where we're now going to get the gold. Now let's start eliminating the things that aren't the gold. So,
yep.
Rich in metaphor tonight.
that's one of the when they come to best process, and I don't know what order time's like, but we come to best process. I don't do best process till they've talked to you.
Right.
Because you get them so clear. And when they come and they say, back to the metaphor, we're all about fish and gold today.
Fish and gold.
But when you come, a lot of times we have really brilliant people that have been banging their head up against the wall, and they're actually making money doing it.
Right.
And you say, okay, well, and we find out that they're fishing for albacore, that they want, these Fortune 500 executives. We have a, executive coach. Throwing a net out there, let's eliminate that. That's just a thing that's taking up time. It's not serving your purpose. Now, we do have people with low ticket continuity. I think of like Mobility WOD is a good example, right? Like, putting individual line in the water when you need 9,000 members every month.
Yeah.
Let's not do that. Let's not waste, right? So it's also about
exactly
the wrong, instead of having nets and fishing lines and 10 different baits, it's
biggest food fishery in the world, Nick, is the pollock industry. And if you're out there trying to catch, first of all, there's fish that won't take a hook. And so sockeye salmon will not take a hook. You have to catch it with a net.
Yeah.
You have to, that's purse seining, where you actually put it out and it's like a purse and it goes down and clinches at the bottom. And then you just bring it up that part of the ocean and it just pulls up all the salmon.
But
you know what happens when you do a net, Nick?
Huh.
You get a lot of bycatch.
Oh,
and when we're talking about humans, bycatch, it comes in, they throw it away. By the way, if you catch too much bycatch of the wrong fish, you can actually go to jail. But in human world, right, in human fishing, if you will, or hunting, right, it's bycatch just takes away your energy and keeps you from serving. It's a betrayal to the right person.
Yep. And so here's with all that, because it's just so, and it's because I'm so entrenched in like trying to help people that are stuck here, right?
Yep.
They are, for, again, fish metaphor, they're fishing for sockeye, but their program, their coach, their mentors, whatever, told them this is how you bait a hook.
Yeah.
Completely unaware that this particular fish, your avatar, won't take a hook. And so you're banging your head against the wall. You're spending money on Facebook ads, and it's never going to work.
Yeah.
And that it's just understanding, like you said, the right place, right time, right method. And
right message. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's really like, I'm a huge fan, if you've ever hit any of my websites, everybody listening knows I follow you around to the end of time. We have fishing lines in the water. But the focus, the things I am doing every day, intentionally,
message,
I am looking at right person, right place. Who is the one person I need to talk to? Where are they at right now? And what will they respond to? Will they take a hook? Do I have to net them? Like, I don't actually go hook people and net people, but
but we're rich in metaphor tonight.
Yeah. I mean, but is a messenger appropriate? Should I ask for an introduction via text? Which John Rowley just introduced me to Sean Phillips via text, and but that's right person, right place, and that was the method that everybody's most comfortable with. And Sean Phillips would be considered a big fish in any pond.
Yep. Most certainly is my buddy Sean.
Yeah. So we're talking tomorrow. But that's that's exactly my method is I'm always really looking for the one person I need to talk to. And there was a time where that person was identified as that person was Jeff Moore. And so somebody told you to talk to me. We made the time. Like, what's the best method? And people are skipping that step.
A few shekels. And it's also helped me reset my life too, as far as personal goals and all that. I mean, it's amazing. I love the old message, the thing from Gary Halbert, the difference between $1 bill and $100 bill is the message on the paper. And the ability for that message or that connection to be able to change your life, that you are one connection, you are one question, you are one experience away from achieving and seeing a level of abundance that you never dreamed possible. And I just think that, let's sit back and recognize what we're trying to do here and identify with what's that method, where are those people, and what is the message that we want to deliver to them, and how we want to serve them. And I think that I wish that every single one of our podcasts had the process is the shortcut type of amazing, quote, because that is, because that to me will resonate for the rest of my life, and that's again, an example of even one quote, you're away from having your life completely take a different trajectory. And so we encourage you to really look at, what are you trying to catch, and where are those people? What is the method and what is the message?
Yep. And I'm going to give you a tool. If you heard the first or the second, I don't remember which podcast it was. It's already set up. If you go to preeminenceunleashed.com/value, VALYOU, it's been referenced a few times. It will really help you get clear on your message, right? The bait you're using, the language you're using. Preeminenceunleashed.com/VALYOU. And it is actually a worksheet and a live about 1.5 hour video of Jeff actually taking somebody through this process. And it's yours for free, the recording, the worksheet. Just hit that website. It'll ask for your email, and I'll email you over a login to access it.
That is very generous of you, Nick Peterson. I was about to call you Nicholas. That's not right.
That happens. That's my name, technically. Nicholas William Peterson.
There you go.
All right. So let me this is actually streaming